Morning. Right, bit of a tidy up this morning. Get rid of all this stuff out of the workshop. This is done with now, but I might just keep hold of it in case that I have a spare brace or need a spare brace. These are all at this stage now with all the shoulders cut nice and accurately, so now I've got to figure out a way of notching these back and creating a square shoulder to the tenon. So we'll be doing that today because we're in the workshop all day. It's raining outside, so we're not going to be off doing any farming. Somebody commented about, don't know why you're in love with the Festool or such a Festool fan. Not really a Festool fan. The Festool stuff that I've got, I can see the worth in it, so I pay the premium for the product. So this saw, for example, I've not used it much on my channel, but this has earned me quite a lot of money in the versatility that can come with this saw. It's not just a circular saw, although it is a pretty exceptional circular saw in itself. It's got bags of power. You'll never stall it. As a circular saw, you can attach it to a normal guide track like any other saw, or this FSK system, a bit like the Maffel crosscut saws. Maffel do a similar design machine to this. Again, way more expensive than the Festool, so actually it's more of a budget tool than the Maffel. So you can attach to this track here, and you can set your angles, and it's great for site sort of roofing. It's like a mitre saw that you hold in your hand, so you can adjust these stops underneath. That's perfect 0 degree cut. Put it up to your piece of wood and just cut your piece of wood off at 0 degrees. And you can go all the way up to 60 degrees with them stops. So it's a really, really handy bit of kit to have on top of a roof for cutting your timbers off to length nice and accurately and square, and doing compound bevels as well. Bevels over to 60 degrees, which is really good for a track saw. None of the others, I don't think many of the others bevel that far. I normally go to 45, but if you just want that bit extra, the 60 degree bevel, amazing function. But they're not the main reasons that I bought this machine. I bought this originally because I had an idea to do some panel mouldings with it. So I've got a clip that I'll put on the screen now of me machining the panel mouldings. I did a video of this on my channel already. But I have this cutter designed and built and made, and it's a cutter that fits. It's sort of special arbor adapter, so you don't put a saw blade in it, you can put a spindle moulder cutter in the saw itself, and that will then, you can set the depth, and I had this cutter made so you can put adjustable profile tooling on that saw and run it on a track. So this is my solution to make bead and butt boarding with a track saw nice and accurately and really quickly, which is something that there isn't a solution for other than this method. One that looks good anyway. It comes with some safety guarding to go on the track as well to make that cutter all nice and safe to use. There is the standard rebate block as well, so if you want to be taking big grooves out for like door linings or something like that on any sort of production scale, this is a great bit of kit for doing that type of work. Quite expensive that, but like I say, that cutter there has saved me so much money and time in producing panelling from sort of sheet material after you've scribed it in. It's great for if you scribe a board into a wall, like a bit of MDF, scribe it into where you want it to fit, mark a vertical line on it, then put your grooved boarding grooves in afterwards. It's just a really easy way of working. And then recently I've done a project which I've not featured anything on at all on the channel, but I used this saw with a spindle moulder cutter in it, and I'll put a bit of a clip on screen now, to do a huge curved skirting board, and that's a long way away from home, so I had to take all the materials and the equipment up with me and an overnight stay. So quite a big project. I did film all of it, and that's a video to come on the channel. But yeah, use that saw to make a spindle moulder, a portable spindle moulder out of that saw. So yeah, you're not going to buy a Makita saw that's a third of the price of that and do any of that with it. That's just my reasoning for buying some Festool. I have got a lot of Festool gear, like I say, if you went through my kit, I could probably tell you the reason why I bought each individual piece and why I bought it over the appropriate other brands. I'm not just buying the Festool kit because it's got a Festool brand on it and I'm a Festool fanboy. It's not the case. This is absolutely brilliant. So thank you, Angus, if you're watching. The comments are really fantastic, so keep them coming. This is what we're going to be making today or sorting out, so measure from there across to that. I've already drawn all these out, so I know what I've got to do. So we've got 30mm in from the point of that shoulder, and it's 298 to that one. I'll do the same for this joint. I've just got to cut them straight lines in the tenons and chisel that bit back from the edge of the shoulder. I think I'm actually going to offset that one as well, like 10mm maybe, just a little 10mm offset, so if it does shrink I don't end up with a gap in the mortise at this position. So if I just go back to the whole job, don't know if I've shown what we're actually making. This is a porch that we're going to be making, so got all these posts to mortise and tenon into these like eaves beams down the side of a garage, and yeah, I've been making all the braces, so all the braces are exactly the same. So I've batched them out, and if I press K, everyone's sort of got all the detail within this model, so you can see how it all interacts. So what I was talking about is I might just knock that tenon just 10mm higher up, so that if something shrinks in this brace, you don't see a gap underneath where the mortise is. I just want to mark these tenons out nice and quickly, and there's quite a lot of them. So I've just cut a strip of wood, a length of that entire shoulder. And then I've cut another strip of wood, the length that I want my tenon to be cut at. And I've got my marks there. I'm just going to attach them together. And I can just put them on the thing and mark my shoulders. Here's that drill bit again. Right, I've come up with a great method for doing these. I tried to use like a long router bit to mill these ends, the centre bit out, using that method, but it went disastrously wrong and the bit flew out the router, so won't be doing that again. You know, so that is the perfection joint for a bit of greenmate framing. So hopefully that won't take me too long. This is the process I'm using to take the setback of the mortise out of these braces. So I'm getting the brace on the bench, running the router down them joint lines to clear any debris at the intersection of the two cuts. Give myself a little bit of a lip in case I have to plane some off this to get it to fit nicely. I've not got to clean the corner out, it's already got that cleaned out. Then I'm using my little jigs that I made, so pointy end to that side of the shoulder, align it both ends. That's marking out my tenon position. Mark them down over the face. Do that for both ends. Sit it on its back like that. Then I'm using the HK set to 80mm to do a 90° cut. Flip it round. Do the two cuts. And take it over to the bandsaw. Right, there we go, that's a better method. I've been faffing around trying to find a way of taking out this nicely, and I just went back to basics And what I used to do with all my tenons on my joinery when I didn't have anything too fancy, I would use a table saw and a bandsaw just to nip them setbacks off. And it worked an absolute treat. So just setting up the setback off the shoulder using a board running on the fence, and it's as you can see, it's really good. It's just catching the teeth a tiny bit on the shoulder, but if you run a plank on there, you can't see that them teeth are poking through the face. And you've got to remember, this is green oak framing and it's going to be sat like this, you know, so that is the perfection joint for a bit of green oak framing. So hopefully that won't take me too long. And the HK85 makes it really easy. Just mark them tenons out, no more marking required, just cuts them down nice and straight at the 90 degrees to the right depth. There we go. That looks pretty nice. It's not until this point you really get to see actually what the shape of it's going to look like. But the beams that run around at head height aren't particularly high, so we couldn't have a huge brace. But that's quite a nice shape. So, there we go.